Hello, welcome to Rupa Ganesh channel of English. Friends, through this video, I want to discuss with you one of the important grammar aspect, voice. The concept of voice is very important to convey our feelings and ideas with language accuracy. So, through this video, I want to discuss with you the voice, kinds of voice, and what are the rules that we have to keep in our mind when we change the sentences from active voice to passive voice. So let's move on to the next slide. Friends, let's know the concept of voice. Voice is the form of the verb which indicates whether a person or a thing does something or something has been done to a person or thing. Friends, generally we don't learn grammar through by memorizing the rules. Usage, illustrations, examples are more important. Let's take the example. Kalidasa wrote Shakuntala. This sentence has got three parts. Kalidasa is the subject. Wrote is the verb. And Shakuntala is the object. So here the doer of the action is subject, that is Kalidasa. That means subject is doing something. Let's come to the next example. Shakuntala was written by Kalidasa. So here something has been done to a thing. That means subject, something is happening to the subject. So these are the two ways of expression. To know this properly, let's move on to the next slide where we come across the kinds of voices. Friends, through this slide, I want to discuss with you the kinds of voice. We know that there are two kinds of voice. One, active voice. The second one, passive voice. What does the definition of active voice says? Active voice. A verb which shows that the subject has done something is known as active voice. Example, Vijay sings a song. Here, this sentence, it has got three parts. Vijay is the subject. Sings is the verb. A song is the object. Friends, I would like to say that we use active voice to say what the subject does. That means Vijay is doing something. Vijay sings a song. Whenever we want to say what the subject does, then we make use of active voice. Let me give another example. Sanjay wrote a letter. This sentence has got three parts. Sanjay is the subject. Wrote is the verb. A letter is the object. So here, subject is doing something. That is active voice. Let's pass on to the next kind. Passive voice. A verb which shows that something has been done to the subject is known as passive voice. Example, a song is sung by Vijay. In the active voice, Vijay sings a song that can be expressed in the passive voice as a song is sung by Vijay. Here, a song is the subject. Is sung is the verb. Vijay is the object. Friends, here something has been done to the subject. The subject is a song. Something has been done to the subject. Whenever we use passive voice, when we want to say what happens to the subject. Let me give another example. Sanjay writes a lecture that is in the active voice. That means subject is doing something. Sanjay writes a lecture. This can be expressed as a lecture is written by Sanjay. So something has been done to the subject, that is in the passive voice. So through this slide, we come to know there are two kinds of voice, active voice and passive voice. We use active voice to say what the subject does, and we use passive voice to say what happens to the subject. After knowing this, next part, how to change the sentence from active to passive. That's very important. To know this, let's move on to the next slide. Friends, through this slide, I want to discuss with you how to change the sentence in the active voice to passive voice. What are the basic rules that we should keep in our mind? Let me go one by one. Identify the subject, verb, and object in a sentence. Let me give example. Anita prepares coffee. Anita prepares coffee. Here you ask the question who prepares? Anita, that is the subject. Anita, what is the action? Prepares, that is the verb. Anita prepares what? Coffee. If you ask the question what or whom, then you would get object. So identify the subject, verb and object in a sentence. That is the first thing you have to do. After that, to change the sentence from active voice to passive voice, you should interchange the subject and object. So in the example that I have given, Anita prepares coffee. Coffee comes first, coffee. And coffee is prepared by Anita. That means subject and object are interchanged. First thing, identify subject, verb and object. Then you interchange subject and object. After interchanging subject and object, be form of the verb is added according to the tense. This is very important. Anita prepares coffee. Friends, we know which are be form of the verb. Is, am, are. That's the present. Was, were, past. Been is the past participle. Being is the progressive. So, is, am, are, was, were, been, being. After interchanging that, we should add be form. So, whenever we add be form, we should consider the tense of the verb. Here, Anita prepares tell, that is the present. So, the be form should be added is. Coffee is. Coffee is prepared by Anita. Next, the first thing, identify subject, verb and object in a sentence. Then interchange it. Subject and object you interchange. After interchanging, be form of the verb should be added. Then past participle form of the verb should be added. That is rule number 4. Past participle form of the verb should be added. What does it tell? The verb has got 5 forms. For example, write is the present form. wrote is the past form, written is the past participle. So writing is present participle, to write is infinitive. That means third form of the verb V3 should be added after adding B form of the verb. Past participle form of the verb should be added. In the example that I have given, Anita prepares coffee. Prepare is the verb form, prepares. So prepares present tense, prepared past tense, and prepared, that is past participle. Whenever ed forms comes in the past tense ed form, past participle also same. So that is the rule number 4. Past participle form of the verb should be added. Next, generally preposition by must be added. By is added. Preposition by is added before the object. Coffee is prepared by Anita. Coffee is prepared by Anita. Before the object we add preposition by. Then the next one, subjective pronoun is changed into objective. Suppose if I give an example in the active voice, I wrote a letter. Then if I change that sentence into passive voice, I is the subject, wrote is the verb, a letter is the object. Object comes first, a letter. Then wrote is past tense, so we make use of auxiliary verb be form, that is was. A letter was. For write, wrote, the past participle is written. A letter was written. Then the pronoun I in the active voice is changed into me in passive voice. That means a letter was written by me. So I is changed into me. We is changed into us. He to him. She to her. They to them. That means in the active voice I, in the passive voice me. In the same way it continues. So these are the basic rules. Basic rules that we must keep in our mind whenever we change a sentence from active voice to passive voice. Friends, up to now, I have discussed with you one of the grammar aspects, voice, kinds of voice, and what are the basic rules that we should follow, that we should use whenever we change a sentence from active voice to passive voice. So this is the video part first. The video part second, it tells the actual usage. So through illustrations, through examples, we learn how to change a sentence from active voice to passive voice. Transformation of sentences from active voice to passive voice is the beauty of the language. To attain mastery, to be an autonomic user of English language, the concept of active voice and passive voice is very important. The transformation of sentences from active voice to passive voice is very important. To learn, to get mastery over it, let's definitely watch the video part second about voice. I suggest you, first you go by the video second, the part second about voice, then you come back to the video about active voice video part first. That gives a clear understanding about active voice and passive voice. So saying, I thank you all for watching this video. Thank you once again.